Is there something, I don't know if you've been following, but the quick, amazing development of language models, the neural network, natural language processing systems, dialogue systems. Do you think there's some possibility of using sort of these incredible neural nets that can have open-ended dialogue, basically chatbots?
Yep, I've seen some incredible demos. I do think it's coming. I don't know when.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a question, like what's ready for real deployment and release versus, hey, let's use that to generate some things that is then static that we're giving to the players, versus it's generated on the fly, but it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming. And I think you'll see it in the types of games that we do. It has great, application.
I love the idea that you'd be using AI to design different NPCs and then testing if they're good enough. If they're like a little too crazy, you don't want like the super
right. But if we go back to it being reactive, some of that bot stuff, it's incredible. It's then translating that into voice, and then is that being done by the client? Is it being done on a server? Is it baked into the game? There's like different flavors of it.
So there's still computational challenges. Like, how do you actually make that happen?
Right.
Well, what about in terms of creating the feeling of an NPC? What's the role of voice actors? And
awesome. Yeah, we work with a ton of voice actors, and they bring so much to it. And that's the thing. We can write some stuff, and the best ones get in there and make it so much better, or even ad-lib things. And so we do a lot of voice recording, and we used to do it kind of like at the end of the project. And now we do it throughout. We start really early and we just start recording. So we're recording for years and years, literally, probably 3 years, 4 years.
So part of the actual experience of the recording will help define the characters and the tone of the game.
Right, and we'll go back sometimes and, hey, we really like this. We want more of this. Let's do another session. Or, hey, we don't think this character is actually working. We want you to do you're going to be someone else now. Sorry, that got cut.
Do you ever try to sort of imagine that people fall in love with the characters, with the NPCs?
I do.
Like, I mean, do they get really attached to the...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've done it in games.
These are like close friends, right? Like, you miss them.
100%.
Isn't that part of the thing?
Actually, like, whenever I'm playing a game and there is, if there's like a friendship option or make friends or a romance thing, I find those moments really, I enjoy them. I find them pretty impactful emotionally to what we're doing. And so we've done a little bit of it. It's one of the things that we actually have pushed in Starfield. So we have a number of companions, but for them, we go, I won't say super complex romantic, but more complex relationships than we've had in terms of not just some, state of they like you or they don't like you, but they can be in love with you and dislike something you did and be pissed at you temporarily and then come back to loving you.
So that relationship status, if it's complicated, that they're existing in that gray area, it's complicated. We're not dating. We're just well,
it's in a lot of games. Previous stuff, you just work your way up. They like you more and more and more and more, and now you're in a relationship.
Now you're in,
and when you make them upset, you drift out of like it never happened. You drift out of it. Whereas we wanted one where okay, we can be in a relationship, and we've committed to each other in some way. But I just did something that really made you angry. Yeah. And as opposed to just drifting out of that status, you're in a temporary, I don't like what you did state.
Wow. So some greater degree of complexity in the relationship with a companion.
A little bit.
Are we
I don't want to oversell that part, but
sure.
My point is, I think those things where you meet a character in a game and you do spend time with them, a companion in a game, and it leads to romance, myself and others, and I find a lot of players, those moments are really, really impactful and special to them because they did put in the time. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that I always come at it with, which is, I think people who don't play video games, they sometimes think like, oh, that's a waste of time, or that's not real, or that's not like, you're not getting a lot out of that. Like, well, you haven't really experienced it in the way that you can, because these moments that I spent in games, not the ones I made, other ones when I was growing up or even now, that is important time to me.
Mhm.
Like, I love those moments. I felt really like proud of what I accomplished. And we want people to have that in our games. And the fact that they have had those experiences and we hear from them and how important it is to them, it's like, no, this is really, really special.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, from a game design perspective, I wonder if you can honor the time you spent together with a game, because sometimes there's a heartbreak at the end of the game. Like when you're when you leave a game, it's a really complicated relationship actually, because when you leave a game, it's almost like leaving a romantic partner, because it's like you spent so much meaningful time together, and there's a sense in which it was ephemeral. Like
right.
This didn't
happen.
Yeah, it didn't really happen. It was good. It was like you went to Vegas, you got drunk and stuff, but and now life goes on. I wonder if there's a way to sort of always carry that with you. I mean, I guess with words you can kind of share with others.
It's weird. I don't like, now that we're in the age where you have achievements and you can look at your library and see your hours in games. Like, that's like, it's almost like a scrapbook now. Like, one of my wishes was like, I wish I had that achievement list for everything. Like back to the late 70s.
Like every game you played.
Right.
Yeah. Like you, I mean, that's one of the cool things with Xbox. Like, we're moving towards that direction. It'd be cool to be from like childhood. The first time you play a video game, it will actually tell you what is the first game you
But you know what?
Yeah.
Kids today, they will have that.
They will have that. And see.
But you could look back and see, oh my God, I put 1,000 hours in Daggerfall.
What is the first
And my
game
last save was 1997.
Last save. Man, I don't know. Golden Axe, maybe? I'm trying to think, what was the first game I ever played? No, it's probably Commodore 64 games, yeah. Yeah, arcade games.